actually going to be talking about the top 2 reasons why you want to pay yourself first. Over the last couple weeks, I've been talking about that. Last week I talked about it in the book, The 5 S's of Money, and one of those, I think it was in actually the 5th chapter, they had talked about making sure that you're paying yourself at least 10% every time that you get paid. There's the book called The Richest Man in Babylon. That also talks about paying yourself 10%. And the reason for that is if you're already doing that, if you're already paying yourself 10%, or if you're already paying putting some percentage away, chances are you have a little bit of a nest egg. Maybe it's an emergency fund, maybe it's an account that you just have that you know you're not going to touch. And if you're not already paying yourself first right now, and you don't quite have that habit, what you want to do is you want to start immediately. Because if you're on the track to pay off your debt and try to get completely rid of debt, you still want to pay yourself first. Because what's going to happen is, if you have a car repair, if you have a home repair, if you have something that comes up for the family, you still want to have something that you can fall in on. Hey Angie, how are you doing? You definitely want to fall in and have that as an emergency. I think it must have been last year, maybe a year and a half ago. We actually had our furnace go out, and I live in Wisconsin, and when it is cold here, it is cold, and it was like -30, -40 degrees. It was a super cold weekend, and we were actually going out of town, and the furnace went like on a Thursday night. We were going to be gone on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I came back, and we had already had the furnace ordered, and I was able just to cut a check, and it was paid off. And furnaces aren't cheap, and we just had it because we had the money there. It was in there for emergencies. Having a furnace break, that's an emergency. And I don't know what it is for you. If you're a homeowner, maybe you're a renter, maybe you own a car, if you have a family, you want to create that. You want to create a little bit of stability, a little bit of security for yourself. Even if $1,000 isn't that much, you still want to start building up that savings. So the number one reason why is the first reason why is actually to start creating that as a habit. The second reason why is to start creating some kind of fund, so you can actually take care of yourself in the event of an emergency. I think I've heard in the past that it takes about 21 days to create that as a habit. Now, you don't get paid 21 days in a row. You probably get paid maybe once a month, twice a month, maybe 3 times a month. It all depends on how you get compensated. But what's going to happen is, if you get paid this weekend, that's 1 out of 21. You want to start doing that over and over and over again, because if you can start paying yourself first 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, you want to get up to that savings account up to $1,000 as fast as possible. And once you have, then you can put a check in the box and say, all right, cool, we're there. Actually closer to 60 to 70 days. Absolutely, Brad. So what you want to do is you want to create that as a habit, because once that's as a habit, and you change the habit, but it's already a habit, you're gonna feel weird about it. It's the same thing that works with like fitness, for example. Like, my wife is a runner. She does half marathons, and what happens is she goes on this little like a training regimen, running like 3-4 days a week, maybe cross training, maybe doing something. And then as soon as if she does her marathon or half marathon, and then she takes a week off or 2 weeks, she feels weird because she's not following her routine that she was on. And that's exactly what you want to do. That's exactly what you want to do for this, is you want to develop the right habits. And the reason why I'm sharing this tonight is, chances are if you haven't developed this as a habit, then start this weekend. For some people, it's a payday weekend. For some, they gotta wait. I don't know when you get paid, but whatever it is that you get paid in the next week, 2-3 weeks, take 10% and stick it into a savings account. Okay? And if you think that's too tough, do a smaller percentage. What you want to do is you want to start creating that habit. So the number one reason, again, I just want to repeat myself, the number one reason you want to start saving 10% is to get into the habit of sticking money away. And the second reason you want to do it is to start building that emergency fund. Once you're up to 1,000, you can put a check in the box. That money is there for that money is there for an emergency. Okay, I had to learn this myself because I could justify all day long that, hey, this is an expense, or this is a want or a need. Oh, this can be. You can turn any want into an emergency if you justify it long enough, right? So I'm guilty of it. I've done it in the past. So the second reason is to create that emergency fund. So you want to get that up to $1,000, and then once it's up to $1,000, now your next goal is get that up to 5,000. And now if something breaks around the house, it's not an emergency. You're not going to drain the whole account. What you're going to do is you're actually going to have funds available that if something does come up or is broken at the house. And then back to chapter 5 is eventually you want to get 3 to 6 months savings into that account, because can you have a caffeine emergency, Brad? You can't have a caffeine emergency. That's a want, and that's not an emergency. You're hilarious, Brad. So hopefully this helps. So again, if you're getting paid this weekend, if you're getting paid next, if you're getting paid the following, I challenge you to put away 10% of your paycheck